So what if you could stop thinking about this one person and allow someone new to come through? What would that look like for you? If you just put this other situation on pause and thought, okay, well, maybe this will pan out, but in the meantime, I could have something else. Well, we've got the Lovers coming in. Now, this might be a situation where something entirely new presents itself, something you've never experienced before. But what I'm really seeing here is that this snake is unwinding. So there is something that has kept you from being able to love freely. It is probably holding on to this situation. But if you could let go, then love that doesn't bind you could finally come in. A love that's transformed and unlike anything from the past. We have the Queen of Pentacles here. Wow, this is beautiful. So this is you receiving somebody just as nurturing, just as caring, just as abundant, that has as much abundance and wealth. A good wife, a good mother energy. Like you could finally realize that either for yourself or through someone else, having the same kind of care that you give to others. It also is showing me that you might be just able to receive a lot of fulfillment and satisfaction from whatever business that you might be able to create for yourself. That's another message too, that, you know, maybe your self-love would go up so much that you would finally feel like independent and feel really good about the world that you've created for yourself. So that's another bonus. Commitments. So somebody who's actually able to give you commitment, somebody who is actually on a path to either marriage, if that's what you are wanting to have, or simply just partnership. Somebody who truly, look at the 10 of Cups and the 6 of Pentacles, somebody who truly matches your energy and can give exactly what you give. This is equal give and take. This is an ideal for you. No more indecision. No more just being in this place where you are waiting for someone else to decide what they're going to do so that you can finally move away from this painful past that you had with this other person. The 8 of Swords. I do think that to a certain extent, you are keeping yourself from the experience I just described. There is some kind of safety that you've told yourself exists if you just wait for this other person. Maybe it's the comfort and familiarity they provide, or maybe it's the comfort and familiarity of not experiencing something totally and shockingly new. Something that rewrites everything that went before. Something that actually ends up in a long-term commitment. Creating a real 3D version. This is the 3 of Pentacles. This, in reality, it might be more frightening to you than you realize, especially if you have experiences of watching long-term commitments fall apart, or feeling like that's generally what happens, having kind of a doom and gloom outlook on those types of relationships. Well, what would happen to this person, this other person that you're waiting for? So for you, we would see some fears coming up about the reality of what you could actually have, but you could actually have it. Let's see what would happen for this other person if you decided not to wait for them anymore. What would happen to this other person that you're waiting for? First of all, there would be no denying how freaking magnetically, powerfully attractive you are. In this Queen of Wands energy, you would be a badass boss bitch. That's how they would see you forever preserved. It would strengthen their feelings about you, actually. Forever, you would be this idea of bliss and happiness. The 10 of Cups, which we saw was totally possible for you and reciprocal, coming in a reciprocal way. This person would recognize that you were absolutely the one that they could have had that with. I think it will even cause them to fantasize even more about you, actually. It might force them to address their emotional underdevelopment. But it could also just be this thing where they continue to just keep this childish fantasy of this relationship as their safety. And it is also possible that they could actually experience new love with someone else, or a new love for themselves, for those that it might be positive to let go. We have here the Two of Pentacles coming in. So this would make them really change. It would force them to change. They could no longer put a band-aid on the situation with the for you, because you basically made the decision for you both. So they would have to either change too, or they would have to remain in that loop, except that they would be in that loop without you. They would just be in the loop of imagining you there, but you're not there anymore. And I'm sure that's happened. I'm sure there's actually a lot of masculine energy right now who is thinking that you're still there, like pining over them, and you're long gone, you know. We've got here the Justice card. So it could actually force some, if they are married, or in some kind of other commitment, it could actually force them to deal with it, either to go into mediation and like improve it, or to actually end the marriage. It would increase their self-love, because they would literally have to do it. If you're not there, if they can't juggle the idea of you, you know, anymore with their current circumstances, they have to do something to change. I do see the Two of Cups coming up, and for me, that is giving like they might actually try to seek out an in-person meeting with you. But it can also be that they would be able to find like love that would be very good for them too, but it looks like maybe later on in life, because they weren't ready now and you are, and so they might just need more time than you. We've got the Four of Swords here. It seems like you being pretty unbothered in the silence, because I don't think that this person would contact you. I think that this person is somebody who just dreams and doesn't do it. So I think you going and doing it would kind of continue this no communication, and they would just sort of be watching and waiting for you now. And they're kind of hoping that your map would sort of take you back to them. And maybe it would, but you basically wouldn't be knowing the difference. You're just relaxed and unaffected, unbothered by that. So that's how they would end up experiencing this if you did that. Let me just ask one final question. So for those of you watching right now, what is the biggest struggle that you would have to deal with in order to make this decision? It's this Three of Swords here. It's basically, there is a fear of heartbreak that can never be healed if you decide to focus on some other energy. But the truth is that what you would be doing is finally healing the part of you that is looking for in this person what is already within you. It's preventing you from just looking in the mirror and seeing yourself the way that you see this person, right? You see this person as somebody that you can unconditionally love, somebody that, you know, they can't do anything wrong. You just forgive them. This is what you need to see and feel towards yourself. So the biggest challenge here is just the fear of heartbreak, the fear of how it will feel to not pursue the direction that you initially thought was going to be the best for you. The end result, this is Hierophant card. This is actually the card of marriage. So if you want marriage, it's long-term commitment. But if you don't want that, it's more just about learning spiritual lessons and actually having faith in yourself that is so powerful that you could literally command empires there with that Cleopatra energy. Face your demons and be happy. So it's up to you.